All right, let's begin today in a seated position. You can be sitting on a block if you have it, or you can sit on your mat with your knees bent and your buttocks to your heels, or flat, whichever one is more comfortable for you. Bringing your hands to Anjali Mudra, softening your eyes. Grounding through our feet, feeling the fronts of our feet or our bottom on the ground coming up and supporting us from underneath. Lengthening through our spine. Coming into your own personal yoga space. Taking some nice deep breaths, leaving behind our busy mornings. Noticing our breath and scanning through our body, noticing any tightness or any discomfort, and gently exhaling, acknowledging those parts and exhaling into it. Taking a few more breaths and scanning your mind for any busyness, any thoughts that are there. Acknowledge them and then let them go. This next hour is time for you for some self-care. Our theme for today is gratitude. Gratitude is about the quality of being thankful and the readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. As you soften your eyes and you just focus on your breath, think about what you are grateful for. It might be a person, or it might be a feeling, or it might be something close to you. How does it make you feel when you think about this thing that you're grateful for? I know that I'm grateful for Molly. Having her with me has been good company, and grateful for the love and the light that she always brings into my life. Being grateful helps us to be more positive in our mind, our vibe, and our lives. I'm grateful for the opportunity to practice yoga with you both as we walk through our practice today. We're going to open our practice with an Om. You can join me, but you don't have to. We're going to start with a deep breath in and then let it go. And then another deep breath in. Om helps us to clear the pathways for our practice and to set our space. Thank you for being here today, for yourself and for each other and for our yoga community. As you move through your practice today, notice your body, notice how it feels, and notice your mind as you move through the practice. Try to bring gratitude with you, being grateful for the time that we allow ourselves and to be able to practice yoga together, to raise all of our vibrations and to help us with some self-love. As you move through your practice today, feel free at any time to rest in child's pose. Just being aware of how you are. We're always different, our body's always different every time. So let's bring our hands and raise as we inhale. And bring our hands down as we exhale, just getting some movement into our spine, getting some deep breaths in. And then placing our left hand on the ground, and inhale as we bring our right hand up and over. And then exhale as we move around, put our right hand on the ground and move our left hand over. Getting a nice stretch through the left side of the body. I'm just going to go from side to side. Noticing your breath, noticing the space in your room, noticing how your body feels as you're stretching through the sides and up into your upper back, slowly warming you up. And then coming back to center, we're going to take our arms out to the side and we're going to twist to the left and look to the left and bringing your right arm in front of you, left hand behind, and then inhale as you bring your arms out to the side and then exhale to the other side. So inhale and then exhale, taking your gaze, gently looking over your shoulder. And then coming back into child's pose, taking your knees wide and your feet together, bringing your buttocks back down to your heel, walking your hands forward, taking some deep breaths as you're stretching through your lower back and your upper back, bringing your forehead down towards the mat. And we'll take 5 deep breaths here. Noticing how that feels through your lower back and through your shoulders and through your arms. 2 more breaths here. And then coming up onto all fours, bringing your hands underneath your armpits and your knees underneath your hips. We're going to inhale and lift our gaze, lift our chest, have a nice curve in the lower back, and exhale, bringing your back up towards the ceiling, up, arching up like a bridge, looking through your legs back to your feet, and then inhale, lifting your gaze, lifting your chest, and we'll continue on. Let's do 5 more of these. Again, getting a little bit of movement in a lot of places around each vertebrae, so mobilizing our spine and moving our spine with our breath, becoming conscious of our breath. And 1 more. Inhale and then exhale, and coming down onto our bottoms with our legs out in front. We're going to go into Paschimottanasana. So we're going to sit up, lift up onto our buttocks, onto our sit bones with a nice tall spine. Inhale, bring our hands all the way up, and we're going to exhale, fold forward, bring your chest down towards your legs, and bring your hands to your ankles here, and we're going to take about 5 breaths, just noticing that stretch through the back of your legs and through your lower back. And each time you exhale, bringing your chest just a little bit closer to your legs, having your gaze on your toes, just taking some nice deep breaths here, just getting in touch with your body. And last 2 breaths. And then release your hands and coming back onto all 4. we're going to do a little bit of shoulder opening here. So having your body nice and balanced with your knees under your hips and your hands underneath your armpits, we're going to notice our gaze on our left hand, and we're going to inhale and bring that left hand right up towards the ceiling, keeping the gaze on the left hand. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring that down and underneath the right arm and let it hover there. Inhale all the way up, keeping your eyes on your hands, and exhale, bringing the arm all the way through and hovering. Inhale all the way back up again, stretching through the shoulders and the back. And as we go down this time, we're going to take our arm down to the ground, bring our shoulders down towards the ground, and take our right hand forward. So coming down, bringing your head towards the ground and your shoulder towards the ground. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So taking nice deep breaths and noticing that nice stretch through your shoulder, opening through the scapula on the left side. Two more breaths. And then bringing the right hand a little bit closer to your head, and inhale, lifting the left hand back onto the mat. And then we're going to change to the other side. So this time, gazing at your right hand. Inhale as you lift it all the way up, take your gaze all the way up towards the ceiling, and then exhale as you draw that right hand through and underneath your left, hover, and then inhale, bring it all the way back up again, opening right out through the chest and back down under, and then inhale all the way up, gazing at that hand, and then bring the right hand down underneath the left and take the left hand a little bit forward and bringing your shoulder and your head down towards the mat, and noticing this opening through on the right scapula. I'm going to stay here for 5 breaths. And one more breath here. Bring the left hand a little bit back towards your head. Inhaling, bringing the right hand through and back into all 4 on the mat. And let's do some little circles, just lifting back up through our shoulders. And then sitting back into a comfortable position, whatever works for you. And we're going to roll our shoulders through and then take them forward. And then just notice if you've got enough room around you to take some big arm movements. Really loosening out through the shoulder area and take it back the other way. Mine's clunking a little bit. You might have a little bit of clunky happening. And then taking your left arm across your body and bring your right arm underneath and giving that a nice stretch through the left scapula. And then changing through to the other arm. Good. And then just loosen that off. Okay, we're going to come into a chaturanga now. So let me just close these curtains. It's a little bit glary in here. Okay, that's better. Okay, so in an all-4 position, we're going to lift through the left hip area and lengthening out. We're going to move that left foot so you've got your toe pointed towards the floor, and you're moving the left leg in a circular motion, keeping your back nice and flat, so nice and balanced through the hands and the right knee, and then taking it back the other way. So really squeezing through your buttock here And then moving to the other side, to the right side. So inhale as you lift your knee, extending the right foot back, having the toes pointing down towards the ground, and moving your foot in a circular motion. Sit. And back the other way. Good. And then bringing that down and placing that on the mat next to your left knee. We're going to now move to an alternate arm and leg lift. So we're going to inhale, lift the left leg and the right arm, and really stretch out through the hand and the foot. And while you're in this position, let's do some circles through our wrist and our foot. It's getting some movement into those areas, and back the other way. It's deep breathing here. And then we'll go to the other side. So extending through the right leg, left hand, and moving the hand and the ankle in a circular motion. And then back the other way. Welcome, Penny, who's just joined us. Sit. And then coming back into a child's pose. So bringing your knees wide and bringing your buttocks back to your heel. And walking your hands forward. Just be here for a few breaths. Just taking some nice deep breaths and lengthening out through the shoulders. Bringing your forehead down towards the mat. Nice stretch through your shoulders and your arms and your lower back. Noticing the floor beneath your shins and your feet and underneath your hands. And then drawing your hands back towards your shoulders and coming back up, tucking your toes under, and we'll go up into our first downward dog. So opening out our hands, pushing them against the ground, moving our heels up and down, just paddling, stretching out through the legs and through the arms. And then we're going to take our left foot off the mat, going into a three-legged dog, lifting that left leg up, pointing the toes down towards the mat. If this feels a little bit too strenuous, just to stay in a downward dog with 2 feet. We're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. So having a nice line from your spine all the way up through your leg to your foot. And 2 more breaths here. And then bring that left foot down to the mat. Paddling your legs from side to side. Coming down to your knees. Back into child's pose. Just taking the strain off your shoulders for a moment. We'll have a couple of breaths here. And then we'll come back up, tucking your toes under, up into downward dog, pressing your hands against the ground, pressing your heels into the mat. And then we're going to lift our right foot to a 3-legged dog. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Keeping it nice and steady. It's quite a strong pose. Remember, you can always rest into child's pose. Let's go 2 more breaths here. And then bringing the right foot down to the mat, pedaling your feet down towards the mat. And we're going to stay here for 3 breaths, just getting your balance back, just noticing your body, noticing your breath. Thinking about our theme of gratitude as you're moving through your practice, be grateful for the way that your body is supporting you and moving through with your practice. And then from your downward dog, walking your feet forward into a forward bend, Uttanasana. And we're going to inhale and bring our arms all the way up to the sky to mountain pose. And our hands back to heart center. So from here, we're going to do a few rounds of our sun salute to warm our bodies up. Just giving your body a little bit of a shake in this position. Now you're all very familiar with this one now, so we can probably all do it together. So we're going to start at the top of our mat with our toes together, legs together. We're going to inhale, we're going to lift our arms, lift our gaze, and then exhale, we're going to fold forward, bring our hands down to the mat, and then inhale, lifting our chest a little bit, lifting our gaze, feeling that stretch through the back of the legs. Exhale, drawing your chest close to your legs, and then stepping back into either a high plank on your toes or bring your knees down to the mat to a low plank. As we exhale, we're going to slowly draw our body down towards the mat. Inhale, lifting out through our chest, lifting our gaze. And then exhale, we're going to come back to a downward dog, tucking our toes under, feeling that nice stretch through the body. And then we're going to walk our feet forward into a forward fold. Inhale, lift our chest, lengthen through our spine. Exhale, draw our chest to our legs. And then inhale, bring your arms all the way back up and back to Anjali Mudra. Nice work. So that's one round. Let's do 3 more rounds together. Feel free to go through at your own pace as well. So I'm going to inhale, bring my arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lifting through the chest, lengthening the spine. Exhale, bringing the chest to the legs. And then stepping back either to high plank or low plank. Low plank, bring your knees to the mat. Slowly lowering your chest down to the mat. Inhale, lifting your chest, lifting your gaze into an upward dog. And then tucking your toes under, bringing your hips up to the ceiling into a downward dog. And then lifting your gaze towards your hand and stepping your feet forward into a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, bringing your chest towards your legs. And then inhale, bring it all the way back up. Good job. Okay, let's go 2 more. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, folding forward. Breathing in, lifting through the chest, lengthening the spine. And exhaling, bringing your chest towards your legs. And then stepping back into a high plank or a low plank. Slowly lowering your body, bending at the elbows, bringing your chest to the mat. Inhale, lifting your chest and lifting your gaze, upward dog. Toes under and press up into a downward dog. And then lifting through the chest, moving your gaze towards your hands and stepping forward with your feet into a forward fold. And then inhale, lifting the chest, lengthening the spine. Exhale, bringing your chest towards your legs. And then inhale, coming all the way back up. Nice work. So we've got 1 more to go. So at the front of your mat, inhale, lifting up into mountain pose. Exhale, folding forward into Uttanasana. And then lifting through the chest, lengthening the spine. Exhale as you bring your chest towards your legs, hugging the legs in close. And then stepping back into high plank or low plank. Slowly lowering your body down to the mat. And then inhale, lifting through into upward dog, getting nice compression through the spine, tucking your toes under, lifting up into a downward dog, moving, raising your gaze towards your hands and stepping forward into Uttanasana. And then inhale, lift your spine, lengthening through. Exhale, bring your chest to your legs, hugging that in tight. And then inhale, coming all the way back up and back to the beginning. Well done. So you might notice that your breath is a little bit more vigorous now. So let's just softening our eyes, taking a couple of breaths here. And then we're going to step into a chair pose. So I'm going to stay side on to you. So having your legs together and your toes together, heels slightly apart. We're going to inhale, we're going to drop down into a chair pose and bring our arms up. So try to lift your chest as much as you can. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So noticing the strengthening through the thighs and also through the chest and the arms. Just taking some nice deep breaths here. And then bringing your hands down to Anjali Mudra. And we're going to add a little twist. So we're going to turn our body towards the left side and try to hook the right elbow over the left knee. That's it. So a little twist here. So looking towards the left side. We're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. And then release, bring it back to the center. And then we'll come all the way up into Tandasana. And just lengthening out, just give your body a little shake. And then we're going to go to the other side. So we're going to inhale, bring our arms up, bending our knees, coming into chair. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. It's quite a strong pose, this one. And then bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. Twisting your body to the right side and hooking your left elbow on your right knee. And we're going to stay here for 3 breaths, looking towards the right side, noticing that twist through your body. One more breath here. And then coming back to the center. And then inhale, come up into Tandasana. Well done. Give your legs a little shake. Then we're going to step into a warrior sequence. So coming towards the back of your mat now, taking your left foot slightly out to the side, and we're going to step forward with our right foot. So our right heel is about in line with the instep of your left foot. And we're going to inhale, we're going to lift our arms up and bend our front knee. So that knee is stacked on top of the ankle, coming up nice and tall. Then we're going to bend through the right elbow and grab hold of the elbow with your left hand and bring that elbow back down towards your back. Or just go front on so you can see perhaps a little bit better. So we're getting a nice stretch through the right side and through the right tricep. And then releasing that. And we'll go to the other side. So elbow, left elbow to the sky, right hand across, and drawing that left hand down towards the right shoulder blade. So getting a nice stretch through the tricep on the left side. And then releasing. And then we're going to come into a humble warrior. So we're going to clasp our hands at the back. So we've still got that front leg bent, We've got our hips aligned and we're feeling a nice stretch through the left hip flexor. And as we inhale, we're going to lift our hands away from our buttocks, and then we're going to fold forward into humble warrior. So with this one, you're feeling a nice stretch through the right glute. That's it. Good. And then bringing both hands down towards the mat. If you've got a block, you could use it here. So bringing the block just on the outside of the right foot, or having your hand just on the outside of the right foot. And we're going to inhale, and we're going to lift the left hand up towards the sky. And we're going to bring that front leg into a straighter position. So still a little soft, but straighter, and looking up towards the left hand. Feeling a nice stretch through the inside of your right leg. So it's quite a strong pose as well. Nice twist. And then bringing your hands back down. And we're going to go into a crescent lunge again. So bending that front leg, bringing the hands up all the way to the sky. Good. And then stepping back to our feet together. And we'll try to do the same sort of thing on the other side. So this time we're going to take our right foot out slightly, step forward with our left foot. We're going to have our left heel pretty much in front of the arch of the right foot, and we're going to inhale, lift our arms up and bend our front knee. So the front knee is stacked over the left ankle. And then we're going to bend our left elbow, bring the hand down the back, and take our right hand, just pulling the elbow across, getting a nice stretch down the back of the left arm. We're staying here for a couple of breaths, having our hips nice and even, feeling a nice stretch through the right hip flexor. Then we're going to change our arms. So this time, right elbow to the sky, bring the left hand to the right elbow and just drawing that across towards the hand through to the left shoulder blade. A nice stretch through the triceps. And then releasing the arms, clasping our hands behind our back into humble warrior. So keeping that front leg bent, bringing the hands up away from the back. Nice stretch through the shoulders. Let's take a few nice deep breaths here. And then releasing your hands down to frame your front foot. And we're going to do a twist to the right side this time. So left hand onto the mat. And if you have a block, you could put that there. And you're going to raise the right hand and gaze at the right hand as you lift it up, all the way up to the ceiling, and coming through and lengthening out through that front leg. So the front leg is straighter now, not fully locked, but just nice soft knee, feeling that nice stretch through the back of the left hamstrings this time, nice and strong through your feet. Taking a couple more breaths here, really looking up towards that right hand, opening out through the chest. And then bringing that hand back down to frame the foot. Inhale, come all the way back up again. And then step your feet together. Give them a nice shake. Good, and just giving your hips a little roll around there. Okay, we're going to come down to the mat now. So coming down into a seated position on your buttocks with your legs out in front. And we're going to go into another Paschimottanasana. So we're going to inhale and we're going to lift our hands, having our sit bones on the mat, really nice tall spine. So inhale, lifting all the way up, and then exhale, folding forward. Bring your hands down either to your shins or your ankles or onto your toes. bringing your gaze to your toes. And each time you exhale, bring your chest a little bit closer to your legs, feeling that nice stretch through the back of your legs and through your lower back. I'm going to stay here for 3 more breaths. And then releasing from there, taking your feet out as wide as you can and coming back up onto your sit bones, nice tall spine, having your toes pointing towards the ceiling. We're going to inhale, lifting our arms, and exhale, folding forward. So a little bit more intense stretch through here, bringing your chest down towards the mat, having your hands on the mat in front of you, coming down nice and low. You may be able to work towards having your elbows towards the mat here for 3 more breaths. Each gaze point should be gazing towards your fingertips. That's it, feeling that nice intense stretch through the groin area, through your hamstrings, pointing your toes up towards the ceiling, and then inhale, releasing, coming up, bringing the soles of your feet together into a butterfly pose. Bring your hands towards your ankles. Again, up on your sit bone, nice tall spine, using your elbows to just gently press against your knees. So nice tall spine, gaze point to your big toe, and you can open out your feet like you're opening out a book here. Coming up nice and tall. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. Good work. And then coming back onto your back, keeping your feet together as they were in the butterfly position. And this time having your hands just on the top of your thighs, noticing that nice stretch through the groin area. And then hugging up your knees towards your chest and rolling around in a circular motion on your lumbar spine, going in a clockwise direction. Just loosening off through the back. We've done quite a lot of stretches through the lower back area. And then coming back the other way. Bringing your feet to the mat and taking your arms out wide, straight out from your shoulders. Bring your feet in nice and close to your buttocks, and we're going to drop our feet to the right and look to the left. So coming into a nice twist through the spine. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So noticing that nice massage through the left side. Bringing your shoulders to the mat so you get a nice stretch through the chest as well. One more breath here. And then bring your knees to the center. And then on your next exhalation, drop your knees to the left side and look to the right side. Taking 5 deep breaths on this side, noticing the stretch through the right side of your body this time. Bringing your shoulders to the ground and feeling a stretch through your chest as well. And then inhaling, lifting your knees back up to center. Take your feet to the sides of the mat, still with your knees bent. And we're going to drop both knees to the left side and look to the right, like a windscreen wiper. And then go to the right side and look to the left. So we'll just go from left to right, bringing the knees down towards the mat. And one more time on each side. And just reflecting on our theme again around what you're grateful for, and being grateful to be here together, to practice our yoga together, taking the time for ourselves, and hugging up our knees to our chest. You might want to go into happy baby pose here, so reaching through, grabbing onto either your shins or your feet and lifting your legs up, and just feeling that nice stretch through your legs and through your back. Just moving around in any way that your body feels it needs at this point. Grabbing onto the edge of your feet. Just taking a few deep breaths here. It's a nice little joyful pose. And from here, take your feet up into the air, so releasing your hands. So at this point, we're going to do a little inversion for about 10 breaths. So you can lay here with your feet just straight up in the air. You can come up into a half shoulder stand if you want. As your legs are up in the air, just making them nice and light. So giving your legs a little shake, some movement in your feet. If you're in the half shoulder stand, bringing your fingers facing upwards on your lower back, on your hips, holding your back, supporting your body up in the air. If you've got your legs up in the air or up against the wall, taking them out nice and wide. And if you're in the half shoulder stand, you might like to drop your toes over the top towards the ground behind your head. Just taking a few deep breaths here into plow pose. And then bending your knees so they go next to your ears. Couple of breaths here. And then releasing your hands, and on your next exhalation, just slowly lowering your spine down to the ground and feet to the ground. Bringing your feet in nice and close, heels to buttocks. And we're going to lift our hips up into a bridge. And just reverse the pose that we just did. So lifting our hips up nice and high. You can have your hands on the mat face down, or you can bring them underneath your body in a clasp position and draw your shoulders together. Lift up a little higher. Really squeezing through the butt. We'll take 5 more breaths here. And then slowly lowering your body to the mat. Hugging your knees to your chest. Exhale as you bring them towards your chest, and inhale as you take them away. And coming up into a seated position. We're going to do one more twist here. So coming up onto your sit bones, and we're going to bring our left leg across our right leg. We're going to put our right hand on our left knee, and our left hand is going to go behind us in the middle of our back. And as we exhale, we're going to draw the left knee to the right and look over our left shoulder. So we're getting a nice stretch through our spine. Taking a few breaths here. Really bringing that knee from the left towards the right, feeling the stretch through the left glute. And then releasing it, coming towards the front, release the leg, and we'll change to the other leg. So this time, right knee bent over the left leg, left hand on your right knee, right hand behind you, and you're going to draw that knee towards the left and look over your right shoulder. Take some nice breaths here, feeling that nice stretch through the glute area on the right side. And 2 more breaths. And then releasing that one. And let's come into all fours. We're going to do a couple of cat-cows here. So we're going to inhale and lift our chest and lift our gaze, getting that nice bend in the lower back. And then exhale, bring our back towards the ceiling, up, arching it up like the harbour bridge. A couple more of those. And then we're going to bring our left knee forward and take the foot across to the right side of the mat. So you've got your left knee, the knee at one side of the mat and the foot is at the other side of the mat. You're up on your hands and you're going to slightly slide your right foot back until you're feeling a nice stretch through the right hip flexor and also through the left glute area. So you can stay here if you want and have your chest up nice and tall, or you can take it a little bit more intense and come down a little lower. And we're going to relax here for 5 breaths, getting a nice stretch through that glute area on the left side. With our hands clasped in front of us, again thinking about what we're grateful for. And 2 more breaths here. And then bringing your hands to the mat, lifting your chest up and tucking your right toe under and lifting up a little bit and bringing your left knee next to the right knee. And then we're going to go to the other side. So this time we're going to bring the right knee forward and take the right foot out to the left side of the mat. So you're in that position with your right foot across the mat, sliding down gently with your left foot till you start to feel a nice stretch through the glute on the right side. So you may want to stay here, or if you want to go a little bit more intense, you can bring your forearms down to the mat. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. And just exhaling into that right glute area. This will help to loosen that area off and release it, and also release any tension in your lower back. If this is too much, you can come back up onto your hands. Let's go 2 more breaths. And then bringing your hands up onto the mat, lifting up a little bit and bringing that right knee back. And then we're going to go into a child's pose and stretch it out to buttocks towards your heels, knees nice and wide, feet together, bringing your forehead down towards the mat, reaching forward with your hands and really giving it a lovely stretch, nice and nurturing. It's a beautiful nurturing pose. Taking 3 more breaths here. And then coming up, tucking your toes under into a downward dog. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths, just rinsing out our legs, paddling our heels down towards the mat. And then bringing your knees forward, coming down into a seated position, and then relaxing down, laying down into Savasana. So you're laying down into the corpse pose for your deep relaxation. Getting yourself really nice and comfortable. If you have a blanket or a cardigan, you can put over the top of you to retain the heat that you've built up through your yoga practice. That'd be great. Getting really comfortable. And we're going to lay down to rest here for about 5 minutes. So giving you some time to just relax and embed the beautiful energy that you have built up through your yoga practice today. Enjoying this Savasana today, feeling your heels against the ground, the backs of your legs, the backs of your thighs, your buttocks, your back, and the back of your head. Your arms by your side, your hands against the mat. Noticing your breath, but not controlling it in any way. Noticing the energy that you've built up in your yoga practice. Breathing and relaxing and distilling that energy throughout your body. I'm going to stay here now in silence, just listening to the beautiful harp music. Noticing your breath as you're coming back into the room. Being aware of the space that you're in, the walls and the windows and the ceiling and the ground beneath your body. Raising your arms beside your ears and stretching out through your body. Taking some nice deep breaths. And slowly rolling to one side. And you can stay here and rest if you want, or you can gradually come up to a seated position. I'd like to read you a quote from Eckhart Tolle about gratitude. He says, "It's acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance." So that's from Eckhart Tolle. Bringing our hands to our foreheads for kind thoughts and to our lips for kind words and to our heart for a kind heart. Thank you for joining the practice today and for all that you're doing for yourself and for each other as we support each other in our loving yoga community. Namaste. How are we all feeling?